Welcome back to Mr. Caro Plays FM24. Today we're going to test a theory, and this theory is that sometimes you're better off waiting until a player is out of contract in order to get the best price in terms of salary for that player. Now, if we look at my Finnish team, and now this tip is specific to leagues, if you like, because if you are managing in the Premier League, then maybe this wouldn't be as specific. But if you imagine a lower league, in my case in Finland, then this is quite a useful tip, simply because it does allow us to see that certain players can be got on a cheaper wage than others. Now, if we look at Ellie Campbell, for example, a player who's not from Finland, he's on a pretty good wage for this particular league, and in as much as he's on £1,800 pounds a week. And now, if we pick out a Finnish player, go back into there again, and we pick out a Finnish player, this Julius player over here, you can see that he is on a mere £675 a week. Now, the interesting thing about this, and the reason why I'm saying this, is because a lot of Finnish players, if they come back into the league or already in the league, will want a lot less money than maybe like a foreign player entering that league. Whether that's because the foreign player is a bit like I'm taking more of a risk, I don't know. But that's kind of the basic premise of what we're going to be showing you today. So if we look at a particular free agent who is going to become a free agent, he's called Lucas Langman. And if we search him up in here, he will eventually appear, hopefully, if that's the plan. Is he going to come up? I think he's actually Lingman. I do apologize. So if we type in Lucas Lingman in here, hopefully, there we go. This time it worked first. Second time, lucky even. So you can see that he is on £800 a week. But if we go into our reports and we look at his expected wage, it is between £3,000 and nearly £5,000 a week. Much higher than any other player in this league, or at least in this my team currently. Now, if we fast forward until his contract is run out, and we will do this now. Okay, now we have jumped to the future. If we type in Lucas Lingman again, it's very hard to, not very hard to spell necessarily, but hard to remember what I'm looking for. We can now see that he is indeed a free agent. When we click on it and it goes to him, that is, which will apparently will happen now, we can see that he is indeed a free agent. Now, that is worth pointing out with this tip. It can have its drawbacks. I would highly recommend to see who is interested in these players in terms of going into your transfer section and see if there are clubs already interested in this player. Because if you do wait around until the player's contract has ended, you have two risk it's kind of a risk and reward kind of situation, especially with players, like I say, who are returning back to nations, because the risk is that he could get his contract renewed. Other teams could come in. You perhaps wouldn't. I holidayed through to this to show this example. However, you probably would be playing along, so maybe keep checking back, especially if this is a tactic you are going to use. Like I say, I have used this on a few players. It is successful. However, like I say, if a contract is renewed, or another club comes in, you do stand a risk of that happening. You may lose that player. Now, obviously, when players are coming closer to the end of their contract, if their own club hasn't offered them a contract, then it could be that they're not going to. So maybe the risk is lesser, if you like. And also, if no one's interested in them, maybe again, the risk is less. However, it is worth pointing out that this tactic does work, as we will demonstrate here. And we will go for our agent thing first. And remember, before he said it would be 4,000. Now, I have also seen an example where when you do this, they still ask for the big range. And then when you go to actually try and sign them, they then go for less. So if you look, automatically less. Now, if you scroll back to the start of the video and we looked at this player, originally he was asking between 3 and 4.7 thousand. Now he's asking between £700 and £925 a week. And we may even be able to get that down a little less, which we can, which to 800 perhaps. Now, what I would say, for me, when it comes to this situation, I want this player, right? This is a player that I think can improve my team. Maybe not revolutionary, but he is someone who will improve my team. So I may still offer more, even more than what he's actually asking for, just in case someone comes in and kind of gazumps me, if you like. So if we go to approach that player, I always tend to remove promises, especially initially, and even then I might try and bring down to regular start and see if he goes for it. If he prompts back and says important player, then I would go for that. But in the reason why I would try and reduce that, even though I said I really want this player, is because if you should down the line, if it says, for example, the player gets upset or doesn't like the amount of playing time he's getting, changing that from the off is a beneficial thing, because then if you said he was an important player, but then he plays 10 games and gets angry out of, say, 13, at 15 games and he's played maybe 6, he's probably not going to be happy with that, right? He's not regularly starting games in that so if we try and bring his playing time promise down from the off, it can benefit us. And obviously down here, because of the scouting report that we had, it is still saying that high wage. However, when we go to finalize promises and we negotiate contract, notice already it has significantly lessened from what the wage it would have asked. And it would have asked for higher wages than what we're getting here. This is purely because he's no longer at a club. The reputation of that club or in that league was probably higher than my Finnish league, so perhaps he thought he would get us a better wage in that sense. But I tend to never give agent fees or signing on fees. Sometimes I lose players because of this, but I tend to just increase the rate just a little bit. Like I say, I really want this player, so hopefully we can get him already. So that's pretty much it really for this tip. Like I say, there is drawbacks. It is worth pointing out that players, if they suddenly become popular, you may lose players doing that tactic. But like I say, certainly through players, maybe from the same nation, it could work from players from other nations coming into this league. If they, for whatever reason, feel like they're dropping down, or they come from that nation, they're moving back into their expectations lesser, they want less money than what they were asking for when their contracts are running out. So though it's good to know whose contract is running out, my tip is essentially maybe wait, maybe don't panic, maybe see what happens, and then maybe that player will ask for less money when he comes to signing. Maybe you might have to give him more signing on, not in this case perhaps, but in other cases, but will obviously save over a period of time. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Hit the notification for more videos. Thank you and goodbye.